Was he insinuating that the U.S. is going to stop funding Ukraine and then all he really needs to do is just wait out this conflict?
That's certainly what he was doing. He said that Russia was going to fight until Ukraine was demilitarized, denazified, and neutral. And what he was basically saying is looking at the U.S. and saying support is eroding. The Russians are watching very carefully our congressional debates. Zelensky came here this week, and he was unable to persuade the Republicans to go along and agree to fund Ukraine with the $60 billion that our administration is asking. And so that's Putin's plan. He's waiting to see what happens in 2024. He's certainly waiting for our presidential election. And until then, Russia is going to continue fighting.
Well, you just put your finger on something, Angela. I'm sure that Vladimir Putin is enjoying the tortured debate here in Washington over Ukraine funding. But how much of this has to do with next November? Is he looking at our next election as the inflection point, hoping that there's a Donald Trump?
Yes, he certainly is. And I think the Russian calculus is they're going to wait until November of 2024. And if Donald Trump wins the presidency, then they're really home free because they believe that there will be no support anymore for Ukraine and that the U.S. will force Ukraine to the negotiating table and that it won't get a good deal. So for Putin, what happens in the U.S. election is paramount, but he's also looking at Europe. The Europeans were unable, the European Union was unable yesterday to agree on a $50 billion financial assistance for Ukraine because of the obstruction from Prime Minister Orban, even though they did offer Ukraine to enter association agreements. So Putin's also looking at that and believing that transatlantic unity will end on this and that Europe itself won't be funding Ukraine next year.
Divide and conquer. This is something we've seen Putin try to do for years, whether it's within the European Union or, as you mentioned, within the transatlantic relationship. But how do you see the U.S. election coloring what happens on the battlefield in Ukraine next year?
Well, I think if we elect a president who doesn't want to provide any more weapons or money to Ukraine, then it will be much more difficult for the Ukrainians to continue pushing back. Right now, there is talk that probably the Ukrainians won't mount another major counteroffensive until 2025. Well, it might be too late by then if they haven't gotten the weapons that they need from the United States. And even before our election next year, again, if Congress cannot agree on what to do about Ukraine, then the flow of weapons will be slower than it was this year. It'll probably turn out that 2023 was really the peak year for U.S. support for Ukraine.
Well, let's stay in Biden's world for a minute here, assuming this is the Biden agenda going forward here. Winter is coming in Ukraine, and there are big questions about strategy. That's what Republicans want, an end game. They want the president to tell them how and when this is going to end, Angela. Is that possible to answer?
That's completely impossible. That's really the wrong question. Now, President Biden said that we will support Ukraine as long as we can. And what he means by that is, again, getting the support for that in Congress. But nobody can predict how this war will end or even what it will look like in 6 months. I think what we can expect this winter is continued and exacerbated, really, Russian bombing of Ukrainian infrastructure, energy facilities. The Russians started to bomb Kyiv again just when Zelensky was meeting with President Biden. So it will be a very tough winter for the Ukrainians. And the Russians, even though they've made a lot of mistakes in this war, they seem to now have enough ammunition. They're getting that from the North Koreans. They're getting drones from the Iranians. They're getting components from the Chinese that they can use in their weapons. So they'll continue fighting, and they have 3 times as many men that they can mobilize as Ukraine does, and they will keep throwing more into the fray, even though Putin said yesterday that there wouldn't be another general mobilization.
Let's go back to Viktor Orban for a moment, the Hungarian prime minister. We've seen him in the past be somewhat of a problem child for Brussels. Is there something Brussels can give him to get him to come around this time?
Well, they already unfroze a 10 billion euro facility that the EU had blocked because of Hungary's domestic politics, because they hoped that he would compromise. So what he did when they voted on accession talks for Ukraine was that he conveniently left the room to go to the bathroom and wasn't there when they voted, so he could come back and say to his own population, I didn't give an inch. But right now, he has vetoed the 50 billion euros for Ukraine, and they're now trying to find a way of getting around this. So they're going to meet again in January and try to get this resolved.
Angela, the Heritage Foundation, the conservative think tank here in Washington, just held a multi-day symposium about Viktor Orban that included apparently the leader of CPAC in Europe. Of course, CPAC here, the Conservative Political Action Forum, hosted him. We've seen Tucker Carlson do the dance with him in an extended interview. And, of course, we've heard Donald Trump weigh in on Viktor Orban. How dangerous is that relationship?
I mean, he is Putin's only real ally in Europe. And what he's trying to do is to fashion himself as a leader, if you like, of authoritarian Europe, of illiberal Europe. He, too, like Putin, is hoping that Donald Trump is reelected. So he is a dangerous figure because he has the ability, at least in Europe, to block moves that the Europeans want to make to strengthen their security and to help Ukraine.